Hello and welcome to the write-up of the AP Statistics 2004 Form B, number 2. We're going to be looking at number 2 here. So this problem is all about bias, and it's in kind of two pieces. When you read through it, you'll see that there's um, the hall manager of a university. The people are kind of complaining about the food, so he wants to see if students would like better food. So he does the setup of the survey. He says one evening, and I'm going to collect data from the first 100 students entering the dining hall, and I'm going to give them this question to see if they want to improve the food in the student hall, the dining hall. So when you read through this whole thing, there's many problems. The first one is that it was during one evening. That's not random. It needs to be randomized. He's selecting the first 100 students that walk in on the door. That's not randomized either. Maybe we should be looking at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Maybe we should be randomizing the students in all the dormitories so that everybody has an equal chance of having a say, which is what a simple random survey should be like. Everybody and every situation, like every group of people, should have an equal chance of being represented in this, and they're not. Only these 100 students. So that's a problem. And then you read through the question itself, and it has problems. They're trying to kind of influence the answers by putting this extra stuff in here. Many students believe that the food served in the dining hall needs improvement. Well, that's an opinion that shouldn't be put in here because it influences the way a person would answer this question. Do you think that the quality of the food served here needs to improve? Well, that's what your question is, so that's what you should have. And then the last part, even though that would increase the cost of the meal plan, this again is influencing the question, and you really shouldn't have it in there. We really just want to know, do you want better food or not? Yes, no, or no opinion. Okay. So the first question A is all about the way it was collected, the data was collected, and the randomness, like doing a random sample. And the second part is about the wording of this question. So let's just read this. In this setting, explain how bias may have been introduced based on the way this convenient sample was selected, and suggest how the sample could have been selected differently to avoid this bias. Well, they tell you already it's a convenient sample, which is usually never any good. If you were to hang out in the book locker room and ask people a question, you're only asking those people who hang out in the book locker room. If you get these first 100 students, you're only asking those students who arrive early for dinner, people who really like the cafeteria or something. You're not getting all those other people. And if you do it just one evening, you're not getting people who show up on different evenings or breakfast or lunch or other things like that. So the answer to this one should be, this is a convenient sample, which doesn't include randomness. And it doesn't include, well, randomness with the time and also randomness with the students in order to make it a true random sample. What I would suggest is that we number the students in the dormitories, all students, and randomly select 100 students and ask them what they think. So that would be my answer to part A. Part B, this is talking about the wording. So in this setting, explain how bias may have been introduced based on the way the question was worded, and suggest how it could have been worded differently to avoid that bias. So by putting things in here, and this is how I'd answer, by including the many students believe the food is served in the dining hall needs improvement part, and also by including that there will be an increase of cost to the meal plan, you are trying to influence the person's response. This is called response bias, and this is not good. So those parts should be taken out, and I would just include the part, do you think that the quality of the food served here needs improved? And only have that part of it. And that would be it. That would be all you have to say. So the key things are, this is a convenience sample. It needs to be a random sample. Random is the key. And that includes all possible people that live in the dormitories. And then for part B, this is a response bias. So response bias is the key word on that one. And we want to avoid that by wording in carefully wording carefully so that we don't have any kind of influence on the way a person answers. I'll quickly just show the AP scoring and what they wrote. So you could pause and read through that a little more, but it's pretty much what I said. Convenient sample, right? Only the 100. This should be avoided by selecting a random sample of 100, right? On the second part, this phrase are not good, right? Those phrases are a better way to ask would say, do you think the quality food served in the cafe needs improvement? And that's it. Okay, that's it. Thank you very much.